Welcome to Parish and Community. Our special guest today is Dr. Cammie Connor, who is the Director of Counseling and Prevention Services at our neighbor university, Harris-Stowe State University. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
How did you become involved with Harris-Stowe?
Well, Harris-Stowe is, I attended at HBCU. I attended Lincoln University. And so attending at HBCU allowed me to kind of want to move in that direction in the field of education. So Harris-Stowe came on my radar at a pretty early time. And with only us having two HBCUs close by in close proximity and in Missouri, Harris-Stowe was kind of the only other university that I was very interested in working for. So just watched out for the position. I actually drove up to St. Louis one day and walked the Harris-Stowe campus and kind of claimed my spot that one day this would come to full fruition. And then a year later, I interviewed for the Counseling and Prevention Service Director position 2 years ago, and here I am.
What is your vision for the office that you are director of?
So what is my vision?
Mm-hmm.
So my vision for the department is to really be able to see the students where they are, where they come from, and what their needs are. And based off of their needs based and see which is more prevalent, I would really like to develop a curriculum that would allow these students to come onto this campus and be able to not only focus on their academia, but to also focus on their mental well-being and then their health as well. And so if looking in the lines of probably developing some type of curriculum in counseling and putting a lot of focus on trauma.
Tell me more about that idea of a curriculum on counseling. I'm not sure I've heard that before.
So the curriculum would be able to give our students different types of strategies, coping skills that they could use. Okay. It would be something that would be created by me, but it would be a tool that our college students would have access to, as well as our faculty and our staff, to be able to use that curriculum to help them within the classroom setting, to help our students in their social life setting while they're here attending Harris-Stowe State University. So it would just be this tool that they would have access to that will help develop them while they're here attending school.
Sounds like that would be a useful tool for just anybody to have, really.
Absolutely. Yes, it would also be something that could be used in other university settings, within our community, and just in individual organizations.
What first inspired you to become a counselor?
I was inspired. I started out as a secondary teacher in education and started teaching the students and noticed that the students were not fully engaged in their studies. And so instead of me focusing on why you didn't get this assignment done, I had to focus on what was really going on in their life. And so when I started to hear their stories, I knew that it was more psychologically. And so I had to meet them where they were at in order for me to even get them to a place where they could learn. And so I was like, so what's out there? What do I need to do? And I started doing research and I came to the field of mental health. And so I actually did my master's degree in marriage and family therapy. So marriage and family therapy allowed me to not only focus on the couples, but also focus on a lot of the different therapeutic modalities that we need to help these students be able to use them so that they can persevere through whatever challenges or extenuating circumstances they're developing.
So it sounds like most of your background is educational, but I'm curious how you would compare and contrast in talking with other counselors the work of counseling within a university setting versus counseling outside a university setting.
I think when you look at the counseling centers, we have to adapt more to what the students bring us. So the students we're going to treat the students that are coming probably with some type of mental health diagnosis, and we're going to be able to help them in whatever area they need assistance in. I think the difference is when, if you're looking at within the community, some of the agencies will come, people are allowed to come in and they work with them based off of their insurance needs or what their diagnosis is. What we do is we have to really work with our students based off of what they bring us.
Got it. So you also have, I have noticed a more informal program that's called Are You Okay? I noticed on the school website. I just thought that was such a clever name and idea. How did that come about? What have you seen as a result of its implementation?
So that's part of, you know, what I spoke about earlier, trying to see what our need base is for our students here at Harris-Stowe State University. And in order to try to develop this curriculum, I wanted to see what do our students need. And so some students, based off of, you know, counseling, when you hear counseling, it's like, there's nothing wrong with me, or I'm not, you know. So I wanted to be able to meet every student. And so just that nice way of walking past someone, or someone else, a teacher even saying, hey, are you okay? And I think it gives that student more of the comfort level to be able to talk about some of this extenuating circumstances that may be going on in their life, whether it's in the classroom, just walking to the cafeteria, or just doing a walk around the campus. And so what this provides, instead of the students actually receiving counseling services, they get 20 minutes of consultation where they're able to get we focus on the resources that they need, any type of referral services that we have in our community. And so these students can ask these questions, and it's 20 minutes. And then if they feel comfortable and they want to come back for counseling, then they have that opportunity, but they're not under any stipulation or guideline to come in and speak with a counselor for 50 minutes to an hour. And we focus on presenting problems, but we actually say, what are your needs? What is it that you need? What do you like for us to focus on?
I really like that, because there is kind of that, it takes away some of the anxiety of, just 20 minutes of your day. That's not nothing.
That's not nothing. And so it's just, you know, basically for them to just ask us questions, and we meet them where they're at. We provide them with the resources. And then of course we, once they have that feel of what we were able to offer them, then we also say, if you need counseling services, here's our services, here's our materials.
That's great.
Thank you.
So tell me more too about, I noticed a focus on intergenerational trauma was mentioned in the bio on your counselor page. Can you talk about that?
Okay. So when going through my program, and I've been doing counseling now for over 15 years, and one of the things that I came to learn is I truly believe that we are a product of where we come from. And so whether we're looking at genetics or if we're looking at something environmental. And so my focus is, when my students come into my office, the first thing is I kind of want to know your history a little bit. And so I want to see, what is the presenting problem? Where does it come from? And so we start to really focus on patterns, because sometimes we are a product of, you know, this is what's happened generation over generation. And so we look at the patterns from their parents, and sometimes we even go back to their grandparents. And so what we learn from that is, we learn from the different events that have happened over and over and over again, and what these students were actually conditioned to learn and what they went through. And so I'm able to find that pattern immediately. And about 60% of our students that come on are dealing with some type of traumatic event that has happened in their life. So looking at intergenerational trauma allows you to know the pattern, and then you can start working on that pattern head on to see, how do we now take that pattern and then how do we break that intergenerational curse?
It strikes me too that in when students are going off to college for the first time, maybe they've just been used to what their family does. And this might be their first time of really experiencing like, oh gosh, like not everybody in this family is like this in almost an adult way. So they can.
Yeah. One of the main things that we have challenges with is our students do come and they, there's different types of relationships and different types of expectations that they have on these relationships. And so when they come in and if students are, if they're wanting to feel, how do they feel like they belong? How do they not? How do they disengage? Why do they feel this, this disengagement? And so these are areas because they're coming from wherever they come from, and they're probably used to coming from a family that never spoke in the house and never showed emotions. And so then that's when we're able to take them through those different barriers to try to see how do you start to heal from some of the things that was learned that is a disruption to you now as you're trying to grow and mature within yourself.
So good.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're looking forward to in this next school year as we come back in.
Oh, I'm so excited. So I don't know if we call this, we're back to the normal, we're back to the new normal, we're back to, so we're just really, I think I'm more so looking forward to being able to, hopefully, we have not made this decision yet, if we will be seeing our students face to face.
Right.
And I noticed one of our challenges going through COVID was we took everything virtual.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been seeing my students via Zoom or just on the phone. And so because of that, a lot of my students, I feel, have taken the decision to just wait and not seek out the help. Because I think we join better when they can actually walk into the office and we can meet each other face to face. So one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to is being able to see some of my students that I was working with over a year ago, hopefully come back so that we can resume where we left off at, and just to hear how they're doing and hear some of their stories and help them to take them to the next level where they can focus on continuing to be successful in their education.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
I am so happy to talk to you today. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking this time.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.